Okay, good evening and welcome to the
Recording in
Highgate
progress.
Select-Board meeting for May 5th, 2022. Our first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for coming. Sue, do you have anything for us?
Yes, I do. I've been getting a lot of phone calls and I have a couple of questions. First question, I received a phone call the other day. I guess washers and dryers are being left on Lambton Street on the side of the road. I'm just saying what this person called me and she was wondering what could be done. I guess washers and dryers and I guess garbage is being left on the side of the road up there. I just got a call, I'm just bringing it to the board.
Have you seen that girl?
I've not seen that.
Okay,
I drive it every day.
Okay, that was one question. The other question was from the house in the park. I have been getting a lot of phone calls and tremendous phone calls. I have somebody in Highgate that is willing to buy the house. They are very interested in buying the house. What can be done to get, who do they would see?
They would have to see the bank that owns the mortgage to it.
Okay. I also, that was one of the questions. The other question was, okay, that one. I did talk to somebody today and they said that COVID-19, if you happen to get the people out, they cannot stop you. You can evict them, state law, you can get them out of there. And COVID-19 will not block it. I talked to a lawyer today, just to let you guys know.
You still talking about the house?
No, about that house, if they want to convict them, they can get them out there, but they cannot say, well, you can't kick me out because of COVID-19. That's not true.
Well, problem, tell me if I'm wrong, it's up to the bank at this point.
Right, we're not the owners of
Right,
it.
Yeah,
right,
we
okay.
can't, we don't,
It's
you know.
basically up to
This
the
is
court.
just questions that has been
Yeah,
brought to me.
no, sure.
This has just been questioned, and one of the other questions is the junk ordinance. Do we have a junk ordinance in the town of Highgate? Yeah. You do, okay, because this is one of the questions that has been brought to my attention.
They're all on our website.
Okay, well, these people, the ones that called me, did not have a computer, so that's why they had called me and asked me, and I said,
Well, we can print them out and mail them to them, but
okay, that's all I'm asking.
we need to know who
And
they
that's
are.
all I'm really asking, is just these questions was brought to my attention. That's got it,
Okay.
so it's the bank.
Yvonne, you got me in trouble. You caused a big drama. It's on Highgate.
I'm gonna leave now.
Yeah. So this is Yvonne Dane Duran, a former select board member for the town of Franklin. And he and I and some of the other select board members at the time had some conversations about the high cost of public works and highway department equipment. So Yvonne, would you like to take it from there?
Sure. First of all, thank you for inviting me to be here tonight. I guess as to start at the beginning, the town of Franklin, at town meeting this year, we had on our, one of the articles that we had was to purchase a new loader for the town. Something that's been in the works for 3-4 years now. And it's gotten to the point where we had started to put some money into it. And of course, the grader has not been getting any younger, and it was time to do something. And so we put it out to the voters, the board, I'm not on the board anymore, but they put it out to the voters and see how far we're gonna get with it. And it has passed to purchase a new a grader for the town. That being said, I mean, it's good news, but there was a little bit of friction because the vote was extremely close. So the town was kind of divided, you know, when this came through. And that being said, I mean, with taxes going up and you know, an extra expense, I knew that we had this conversation before to come to see Highgate to see if there was an interest of sharing this grader in some way, shape, or form. So that's why I'm here tonight. I was asked by the Franklin board, seems that I had started the conversation 3 or 4 years ago, to continue the conversation if the Highgate board even wants to go down this road. So I'm here tonight to let you know that Franklin is interested in doing some talking, negotiating, whatever. So we're in the process of purchasing this grader. We're looking at $331,000. Not right down to the dollar, but that's approximately the cost. And we're still waiting for it to come in. It's around the corner, I guess, but moving forward, we're trying to see if we can somewhat ease the pain for our taxpayers. And let's face it, when it comes to a grader, we all know that it's not a piece of machine that runs, 50 weeks a year. It's in the spring, a little bit maybe in the summertime, and maybe a little bit more in the fall. And for that kind of money, for a town that only has 1,400 people, it's a significant cost. We looked into a second hand grader. Once we looked at the prices were very high. There are no warranties on it. And when you look at a brand new one, even though the cost was very high, the municipalities get a significant rebate. So it was like pretty much one of the better decisions to make was to buy a new one. So I'm here tonight to let the Highgate board know that if you're interested in looking into this, sharing on the cost of this machine, I'm gonna wait to hear from you. One of the things that the Franklin board was looking at was knowing how many miles approximately Highgate has of dirt road. I don't know if you know, Kyle, we're in the first, somewhere around 30 miles ourselves of dirt road that we maintain. There was a talk of possibility maybe making a percentage of the cost due to the percentage of the miles that you take care of the dirt roads. I mean, again, we're just talking. It's, the table is open, and I guess we're gonna wait from Highgate to see what your thoughts are.
Heidi, we have 37 miles of dirt road.
Put me on the spot there, Sharon. I would say it's right behind me.
Yvonne, is the purchase a done deal? Has the town of Franklin, toyed with the idea of renting a grader for the couple of weeks a year they need it? You can get a lot of lease weeks out of 331,000.
It has been talked about, but it is a done deal that's been
Okay.
voted and whatnot, and we are moving forward with
Okay.
a purchase, yes.
Does Franklin and Highgate highway departments typically grade the same weeks of the year?
I think they have some leeway there.
Okay.
Like Yvonne said, it's a very large expense for towns that only use it several weeks a year. And then you have to maintain it, you have to, yeah, it just went right over my head. You have to maintain it, you have to store it, all these things have to be done, which makes it very, very, very expensive.
I know the answer. We have 40 paved and 28 dirt,
Okay, so 28 for us.
because I just asked that
Pretty
couple
close,
of weeks
yeah.
ago. I had to find it.
So we had talked before about why shouldn't small towns try to get together and do some cost savings for all of our taxpayers by buying one piece of equipment and sharing the burden. Having said that, Shelley, is there a way that could work now that that's a done deal?
Well, my concerns would be when it comes to a repair, is that split 50? There would be, where is it
Right.
gonna be stored? How is the insurance piece going to work? there's a lot of questions that I would have that, I mean, it would be a very lengthy memorandum of understanding. I mean, how do you decide who gets the grader what week? If we have more miles than Franklin, or Franklin has more miles than Highgate, like how are you dividing the purchase price?
Right.
I think all those things though, which are half of the answer.
Oh,
I think, absolutely, those are all easily answered questions. You know, like who gets the grader what week,
right,
that can switch from year to year.
oh, yeah,
All that stuff, it's all doable if the public works
Yeah.
departments can both work together. My question, who sized the grader? Who sized it? I mean, cause I know when I'm driving down the road, I see graders that are the size of football fields and I see graders that are tiny. So is the grader, has it been sized appropriate? I'm assuming that you guys spent out $331,000.
Right.
Somebody did their homework, due diligence on free. But who, you know, that would be one of my questions that I would have,
I'm gonna go with the dealer, someone that did that for us.
the dealer.
Yes, and I can't tell you the weight, I just know it's extremely heavier than what we currently have. It's a much heavier grader. That was one of the complaints also that we were having, with our grader. We weren't able to do what we were supposed to do with ours because it's light. The head, it's not heavy enough to penetrate those dirt roads to get to the bottom of those potholes. You can't cover up a pothole, you have to get to the bottom of it, so you're not just filling it in, because that pothole comes back.
Called putting lipstick on pig.
Ty just actually brought up a really good point, to me, that maybe we could be in more of a rental situation, like we would rent from Franklin every year. We could do it that way, so if you own it and we are paying you appropriately for the weeks that we are renting it, like we would the place way up that we
Right.
rented before, I don't remember what they're called, winter or something.
Yeah, with a long shelf life
Right.
for a grader.
You know, alleviate some of the gray areas, the insurance
Right.
area piece.
How is Franklin paying, like, where's your money coming?
It's the taxpayers. I mean,
Well, like,
it's-
is the town gonna take out a loan, is it gonna come from like a general fund? Is
Probably
it,
got a bond on it or something.
you know,
Yes,
capital
exactly.
improvement project?
Yes.
Well, just bond.
That's exactly, yeah. I believe if I'm not mistaken, we are set up for a 5-year payment return. But I mean, it's paid in full, and then we're paying back.
Any big purchase.
Right. Yeah, just like a truck.
I chatted with Butch about it today, and his concern was basically along the lines of the scheduling, because it's the department, but the weather. So when you put two departments in with the weather and your window for grading is so tight, that was his only concern, is like you might plan to do it this week, but it rains all week. So sometimes it's really tough to accomplish it, just being able to jump on the grader anytime you want. So he was just a little concerned about how that scheduling would play out with two public works departments being involved, so.
Where are we with the grader that we currently have?
We just dumped a bunch of money into it not long ago. And ours is set to be replaced around the year, fiscal year 25, so 25, 26, so a few years from now.
I mean, a lot to talk about, but I'm just,
Right, but I mean, this might be a way of defraying that cost
Absolutely.
and taking that capital improvement money and putting it somewhere else.
and it's gotta be like
It's
any other used
more.
equipment.
Right,
It's gotta be worth a lot more today than it was a year ago, as a used grader.
well, and the other thing is
Use it.
that used grader might be able to be a backup for both Highgate and Franklin, and if a truck goes down, we can put the thing on the road and plow snow if we need to.
Yes, because we purchased a wing for it, for that purpose as well.
But I mean, would help,
In case you run into that problem again with the trucks going down, the computers, whatever.
right,
One of the things, I don't want to think about it in here, but one of the things that we're finding out, as we're putting money into ours, we're noticing that the value of it that it was last year, this year, even though we put many thousands of dollars, the value stays the same. It's a graded, it's a 1980, I believe, or an 82, and they don't care if we're gonna sink $40,000 into it. The value is the value of it, it doesn't matter.
Right.
The value is staying the same. We're not gonna get any more because we sunk a lot of money into it. That's one of the reasons why we got rid of our payloader, because we're starting to fall behind, and it's just, we have to draw the line. We weren't gonna get any more for it, didn't matter. So that's one of the reasons we just did it all.
Yeah, if it were a loader we were talking about, I would say, no, we need our individual ones,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
by all means,
Sure.
but a grader is not that type of piece of equipment. Yes, it's weather dependent, but by the time we purchase ours, it'll be probably $500,000. You can do a lot of negotiating for $500,000 for a piece of equipment that would sit in a barn and basically rot away.
For most of its life.
Yeah, it's just, it seems to make sense to try to work together. You know, we're not big towns, we don't have lots of money, we don't have lots of tax base to basically piss away. We need to be frugal with our money, and maybe this is a perfect way to start.
I think both highway departments work well together too,
Yeah.
and I think it's just figuring it out, you know. Both Franklin is borrowed, Highgate's borrowed from Franklin in times of need, and even not times of need.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to think that we couldn't be neighborly enough to share a piece of equipment. You know? But I agree with Kyle, there's probably a lot of discussion to be had, and
I mean, I think,
both highway departments, you know, talk about,
Sure.
you know, what things would need to do, and both select boards to talk about, you know, what are you thinking as this goes forward, and insurance and everything else. But I think that's a good conversation to start.
I personally think it's a great idea. If everything can be worked out, I think it's a great idea.
Well, I think we have time ahead of us, you know, because it's something that neither one of us can do without the knowledge, you know, without our town and voters and whatnot. So we've got time, and I found the perfect opportunity to start talking about it and whatnot, and both boards can meet, and road crew as well. I don't know, start the conversation, if you guys would like to entertain that.
When are you expected to receive the new grader in Franklin? How long is the wait?
It's supposed to be any day now.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Not as long as I anticipated. Get a grader before you can get a car.
Should have it to work. Pretty early. Where's Shelley?
Prevent my speeding tickets.
I saw where you zoom in.
All right,
Okay.
so yes, thank
Thank
you
you.
for,
Thank you, Ben, thank you for.
bringing that
taking
back
time.
up.
Sure, thank you very much.
All right, thanks. Okay, any other public comment? Okay, we'll go right on to Lee. Lee is our rec director. How goes the job?
Hey, great. Thanks for having me here. I don't want to take up a ton of time, but I've got a double sheeted list here just to give you an update on what's going on in Parks and Rec. Certainly would love to have a discussion or answer any questions if I can. First of all, happy Cinco de Mayo. This is kind of how I do my report when I report to the rec board. Always start with talking about advertising at the arena and on the property. So to start with that, we've got several new arena board and baseball field advertisers this year. We've got new Bocan, Dan's Concrete Construction, M Realty, KW Realty, and Progressive Auto. I know those are all also on the baseball fence and in the arena. So, and those are all new just in the last couple months. And we have 54 total advertisers in the facility, inside and out, which is pretty solid. Last year I think we had one sign outside, or maybe two. We have 5 on the baseball field. So, so that opportunity has grown, which is really great. Moving on to Summer Matters grant, which I know everyone is, I think, well aware of. We wrote and collaborated last year. Myself and Ada at the library received $31,000 for Summer Matters, which was basically an incentive to get families outside, active after being kind of cooped up after COVID and stuff like that. So we were really fortunate to get that. With that, we purchased a fleet of bicycles. We have 24 bicycles, 12 paddle boards. We did a bunch of field trips and events last year on the property, including inflatables and such. And unfortunately, this year we wrote for more money, but there was an incentive for folks that didn't get awarded last year, and so we unfortunately did not get awarded this summer. But that was kind of a cool big deal for myself and for Ada, I know, to bring that money and that resource into town. And with the bikes, we'll be starting, hopefully, we've got 2 bikes to pick up still, but we'll be lending those out starting next week. So, thinking about events over the last little bit here, we did a haunted arena and trunk or treat last Halloween. We had roughly 600 people attended. It was pouring rain and freezing, but people came out anyway, which was awesome. Big Rig Day was an event I've done 2 times with the bookmobile. Last year we did a drive-through event. This year we did in person. We also roped Swat and Reckon with us, and we had just shy of 1,000 people walk through the gate, which was amazing.
Excellent.
So that was really great. We've got plans for the same weekend next year, and plans to hopefully rope in some food trucks. Hopefully rope extra toilets this year. We had a little toilet fiasco. Possibly some music, some raffles and stuff like that. So really kind of growing that opportunity and making it a really big event. I mentioned the Summer Matters grant from last year. We did inflatables. The Big Blue Trunk came out. We had a bunch of field trips. All of those events, whether they were a field trip or whether they were at the arena, I would say between 20 and 40 kids or families were attending those on a regular basis. I just partnered with the PTKO in Highgate, the elementary school, and we had over 3,000 pieces of candy stuffed into eggs. Took many days to stuff and seconds to pick up. So kids will do anything for free candy, I guess. But that was really great. We actually got donations from Hannaford in St. Albans and in Swanton, which was really great. And then another event to think about that was really it was cool for me when I first started. There was a holiday light parade. I jumped on board with that, and then we did another one this year, which was slightly larger, a little bit bigger. It was really great to see all the families out, see all the people that brought their vehicles and lit up the town. It was pretty amazing to drive through. I was the tail vehicle coming through town, and I mean there was just people slammed into the village, so it was pretty cool to see. So that's kind of that for events. Winter programs, I won't talk too much about that, but we had a pretty successful winter hockey season with some hiccups, but generally we had a pretty decent season. People were in the building, which is amazing, because the year before it was not that. People were out of the building, so that's a really positive thing. Thinking about our current season, spring, I'm just coming, pardon my relaxed attire, but I just came from Turf Tykes, which is a preschool program that I started up last year, Turf Tykes Soccer. We're offering 2 sessions. We filled Last year and this year, we've filled all sessions with people on the waiting list. And so that's been really powerful. Also started a play group this year for preschool age kids. It's a free program just to stop in. They can play with the bikes, play with parachute, hula hoops, jump ropes, crafts, which we partnered with the library to do.
I was gonna say, I've heard from a few littles,
Yeah,
that they love it.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool to have them out. And really, I've said this, I think, to the rec board, and I don't know if I mentioned it to the select board before, but, you know, in a previous position, in recreation, the preschool programming is kind of the gateway to the recreation department as a whole. So if you can kind of grab those kids, those families, you know, in that preschool age, they're kind of hooked to move into the adult programs or youth programs as we kind of grow our program offerings. Similarly to Maha with their little skaters and stuff. So also with spring we've done pickleball, which is mildly popular. Tough because people want to be outside, not inside in the arena, but incentive for me maybe to look into possibly putting pickleball outside, maybe a court or an option for a net outside. Also offered youth dodgeball, youth cornhole. We've got an adult cornhole league on Sundays with 8 teams right now. I've done tried adult dodgeball. Nobody's shown up yet, so this is the invitation.
I'm too big a target.
You're too big a target.
Tried to and haven't really found success, but doing a team turf program for area youth where they can come in and pay a minimal fee just to kind of have the space to themselves, batting cage, soccer, whatever they want to do. Similarly, drop-in volleyball hasn't been very popular, but you gotta throw darts at the wall and see what sticks, I guess. And then right now we've, last night they were there, but Vermont, or Northern Vermont Field Hockey has been using the space, and they're a great partner for use of that space.
Is that Jen Rangel's group?
No, it's Mel Pearlbutt is the coach. Yeah, so they register through Swanton, and then we host them inside. It's been really great. And they actually exceeded their capacity for this season, I think, from last year. So they're doing really well with their program. So it's great to have them in the arena as well. Looking ahead to the summer, as much as I don't want to look ahead, right now it's looking like we're going to offer 3 weeks of bike camp, utilizing the bikes that we got last summer. So I'm working on hiring an instructor and 2 volunteers to run that camp. And that would be a small number of kids, 10 or so. So we keep safety as the focus with our instructors and our volunteers. Also looking at summer sounds. I know at least two of you were at the meeting when we talked about that a little bit, and you were very gracious about the funding. But working on that, I've got 6 of 7 weeks filled with artists right now. Also got a couple different groups coming out to do concessions. And I need to pick your brain and ask you just about what needs to be done for approval for alcohol vending. I know we can't have alcohol on the premises, but I know, as I understand it, I think if a licensed vendor is approved, they can come through. I've talked to 14th Star Brewing down in St. Albans, and they're very interested in coming up and being part of the Summer Sounds concert series to serve beer and wine. So that's just something I need to check in with you all about.
Yeah, Wendy has a list of all the approved caterers that are allowed to serve alcohol in Highgate, so.
Perfect.
In previous years, we came to the select board for approval on waiving the no alcohol on town property for certain dates and events, so.
So yeah, we'd want to have those dates, and we would want to be able to have some police coverage, just because we're adding that liability. And we just wanna make sure with our insurance company that we're cool with that.
And I think, I've seen it in St. Albans where I live, when they have concerts, they rope off a particular area so people stay kind of confined to that area, which I think is a smart idea for us. But I just think with a concert series like that that's been going on for over 30 years, I'm excited to take it over, and I think it's great to just add a little more to it.
Do you have your dates?
I do. I don't have them directly in front of me, but yes, it's starting in July all the way through August on Sundays, except there's 7, except for Field Days weekend.
How many are new?
So far, everyone is new. So Elvis is coming back.
Yes.
It'll be a revival. of Elvis.
He's the big one.
But everyone else so far is new. I've got one guy who's the music teacher at Mallets Bay School in Colchester. He's got a band, the Tender Bellies, so they're a local group. They're
So great,
so
great.
they're really good. Neon Spoon, which is a very hyper local group of people. Corey, who's on the board for Maha, is in that band and got connected with him, so they're gonna do a show. Chad Hollister, he's out of Williston maybe, or Winooski, I can't remember. He does like country rock stuff. And then I think it's the Eames Brothers band. They're kind of rock and cover band type stuff as well. And then of course, Shelton, Elvis. So I'm needing right now one more to fill that last spot, but yeah. Guar.
How's your stage situation?
That's a great question.
I try to get them.
Yeah. Yeah, so we actually, our last rec board meeting, we're meeting as a group and then we're breaking into to basically buildings and grounds and then programs and events. And so I know that they talked about it. It sounds like we're going to this year work on a temporary structure, whether it be a trailer or a deck of some sort. Where we kind of decide what could be permanent on the property. Part of the Summer Matters grant this year, we had written in to purchase a movable stage. But without the grant, the funding isn't there, so. In true Highgate fashion, we'll do a trailer bed or something, so.
We'll make
It'll
it.
be fine.
Try to find a low boy trailer of some sort that somebody's willing to bring on Sunday afternoons or leave there for the season.
Yeah, we should be able to find somebody.
The inside of the arena as an automatic rain location, not
Yes.
running to the church or like it's at the arena,
Yeah.
one way or the other.
Yeah, it's at the arena one way or another, so that will be our rain location as well. Acoustics are not perfect, but if you set up the band in the right spot and point the speakers kind of straight out, you can get some pretty decent sound in there. And so I think it's good to keep it there. The church is small, and then we'd have to make sometimes a last minute decision to move, so we'll just keep it on the property.
So you're also gonna have food trucks as well as alcohol?
Yeah, so I've got, I'm working on filling 2 dates, but I've got C&M concessions coming, for food. I'd really like to get maybe one other something, like I don't know, Creamies, or there's a new donut shop in St. Albans that's going in, they do some crazy stuff, so something sweet, I don't know. And then thinking ahead too for the summer, Crossroads after school program through the school district is, fingers crossed, gonna be utilizing the arena and inside and outside of the property in the month of July for their summer camp. So that'll be some revenue coming in from them. Similarly to the soccer, we'll do arena types basketball for littles. Do Friday Flicks, which is our movie night. Some public skating. Working on yoga right now to get somebody to come into yoga. Floor hockey or yoga hockey. or roller hockey, excuse me.
Hockey.
Yoga hockey would be fun.
That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about getting people together. That was one of my things. I wonder if we could set up a roller derby.
Let's do it. Right, roller derby. Get some aggression out.
Yeah.
You might just go right around the corner.
Yeah. So, also looking at the opportunity to do some basketball, like an open gym style where people can just drop in. We have basketball hoops that we purchased from the grant last year as well. Having those set up, come in and then you pay $1 or $2 and you get to use the space kind of as an open gym. I've got Pelkey's Archery coming in for just a day to do a program, working on a golf tournament, possible poker tournament, and then our bike lending starts next week, hopefully. So one of our new board members, Tim Luno, is big in cornhole right now, and so he's utilizing the arena space to bring in kind of not a recreational league, but more of a tournament style. So he stepped up to take that, and most of the tournaments, as I understand it, he's kind of doing an 80-20 split. So he's paying out 80% of what he brings in, and then the 20% will go back into the rec department. So that's really great. Thinking about keeping connected, keeping Highgate connected is recreation department. I'm on the conference committee for Vermont Parks and Rec Association, so I'm trying to keep us connected to the state that way. We just a couple weeks ago met with the Franklin County Rec folks, so Swanton, Highgate, St. Albans, and Leesburg all met just to discuss what's going on in our towns, how we can support each other, that sort of thing. Collaborating with the Franklin Grand Island Bookmobile and Swanton Rec for Big Rig Day and other programs. And then I'm working a couple of days in the afternoon at the Crossroads program, just to keep connected with the kids that are in that program. So that's something really great. Couple focuses moving forward, always marketing and public outreach and program promotion, make sure we fill the programs that are coming in. And then just finding the right programs and events that the town wants, the people in the town want and need.
And don't give up either. I mean,
No.
just because it's low attendance the first time you try it,
Yeah.
doesn't mean that, people hate to change, so it takes them a while to get used to a new idea, and you're bringing so many great ideas and so many great programs that it's gonna take a little bit, but they'll come around.
Doing a great job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doing a great job. Thanks.
Absolutely.
So one thing that we've seen as a board, just as recently with Little League going on, is the weather. In May, you don't know from 1 hour to the next, and with Lee being there, he's able to reach out to coaches that are in other towns for their jobs. The weather here's crappy, I'm here, the building's empty, if you don't wanna cancel practice, the building's available for an indoor practice. Something that we haven't been able to do in the past. I think it helps that program, and the kids don't get discouraged because practice is canceled because of the weather, and the parents don't either, I don't think, Just a small example of the benefits of having the league.
Yeah, no, I think it's fabulous. And like I said, we did offer money out of our ARPA money towards the summer sounds program, so you'll have to let us know what that's gonna entail.
Yeah.
And like I said, I still would like to do several other events throughout the summer and fall, and just get people out and get them back together and into a caring community.
If it's alright, I'd like to ask to building on to the summer sound stuff. I know that you've already expressed your interest in helping support that financially. I think Anna and I really found it pretty powerful that we had the money last year and bringing these programs, the big blue trunk and inflatables coming out and stuff like that. And the field trips were really popular with parents, you know. And of course, that money's not available this year. I wonder if we could, I guess I'm representing myself and Ada and just asking if the board would help support some of those programs this year with some of that ARPA money. I know you'd all expressed that, you know, mental health and kind of getting out is a really big deal, and I think it was a really positive thing last year, and I'd love to see it continue. So I'd love to see if we'd be financially able to support some of that, some field trips, having people come out to the arena for events this summer.
I'll speak for myself and say I would love to see that happen. We'd like to see some numbers so we have an idea of what that would entail.
Yeah.
Just to give us an idea of things we could do. It would be really nice to have a town picnic or potluck, and then have a big baseball game or softball game after, and then have Mr. Loomis come and take a community photo of all the people that show up. It would be a nice remembrance of community.
I remember when they used to do the diamond dip at this is years ago, when I was in high school, but I remember after the
I
parade.
was gonna say, you're dating yourself with Diamond Dad.
You should. But I remember after the parade, before they did this chicken barbecue, they would do a diamond dip.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? So you're dating your age.
I
and yourself.
remember hearing the Diamond Dip, but I was just too young to participate.
Thank you. But I do remember they used to go over to do the diamond dip at the school after the Memorial Day parade. And everybody got together, it was 10 cents a dip, I do remember that. And everybody visited and chatted, and it was really great, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see everybody come out for a softball game. You know, what the heck, we could
I
have,
think they had a baseball game after the diamond dip, I think.
Listening to Keith,
Yeah.
we used to have a big game.
Yes.
Sue's gonna be the head cheerleader.
No, I'm not. See, I got good memory.
Do you all need something in writing for what those summer events might cost? Because I have it written down what it generally would cost for the couple events at the arena and then the field trips that we're hoping to go on.
What you got?
But so in total, we'd be looking at 7,000. And I can have something written up and send that over via email if that's preferable.
And that would give you field trip options.
That'd be 4 field trips.
Yeah.
That would be 2 different occasions that we would have the inflatables come out for the community, and then 2 different occasions we would have the big blue trunk come out. Beginning of summer and then towards the end.
Roughly how many people do you think participated in all that last year? All total, just rough.
I mean, I would say we had at least 20 or 30 people each time the blue trunk came out, you know, and then the inflatable day that we did last year, I mean, I'd say, at least 30 people were there. Yeah, and then the field trips, you know, depending on where we were going, I mean, there was 10 kids with parents, maybe 15 at the most. Some of the places we're looking to go though would be, you know, like maybe a little bit further, and a place that like the planetarium and stuff in, I think it's St. Johnsbury. They've got a museum and a planetarium there,
Yeah,
and that's
museum, yeah.
further away than some people might be willing to go, you know, in their own vehicle. But if we provide the transportation and the cost to get in,
This is done jointly with the library.
yeah. Well, this is what we did some of these field trips last year with them with the funds from some of their.
But what you're asking for this year would be joint with the library.
Yeah.
But
Just-
not until after July 1st.
I'm just looking, I mean, they're, with all of the grants that Otta's received this year, they're never gonna spend the amount of taxpayer dollars that they received this year. I mean, they've got a considerable amount of money.
I think, I don't have the dates in front of me, but I think at least two of the events with the inflatables, the Big Blue Trunk, and maybe one field trip was before July.
Well,
That we had initially scheduled, we could always shift the schedule.
we've only got May and June, and they've got 57,000 still on their bottom line. I feel like they could probably afford some field trips.
Okay.
That's my opinion, I'm not
So-
on board.
Let's touch base with Otto. And, let's, get back to you. And one way or another, we'll figure out how to make this come together.
Awesome.
So, not to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
Another thing Lee and I brainstormed, just in talking, I think last night or the night before, was we'd like to, might not be right off, but sooner rather than later, we'd like to start documenting some history of rec, whether it be sit down in front of a camera or just in front of the recorders and talk to some of, the older, I thought of like Charlie, what did kids do for organized sports when he was a child, got to sue, got to, so. Yeah, but there was probably nothing actually organized, I don't know, and the little that I know, someday won't know, people won't know what I know.
Right.
So we'd like to start documenting some of that, so people are interested in doing that, sitting down with us and recording some of their knowledge to be able to, for the next generations, please reach out to us and so that we can do it. We're talking about replacing the signs on the ball fields, and because we're at a point now where a lot of people that go use the ball fields don't know why it's called Cooper Field or why it's called Field or that even that the T-ball field is Tart Field. So getting it so people know why the meaning is, keeping them the same names, but
The history.
putting the history there.
Well, and, the donation of the land.
Right.
As the McEwen boys get older.
Yes, the rink used to be up there, but it also was a little rink behind where the pet place was. That was our first rink, and they used to have lights up there at night, and that's where we used to go.
Where was it?
In back of Pause for Thoughts.
It
Oh,
flooded, it
That's
flooded
a
the
skating
tennis
ring
court.
back there.
Oh.
We had that in the front one.
So, and someday, if we don't document it, it's not gonna be.
Yeah, 'cause a lot of people don't, they keep forgetting about the rink in back of the Pause for Thoughts. I grew up on that rink, between that and the front one.
Just trying to put a plug out there.
We know,
that
don't
if-
dumb it, Dibs, we know.
You get like, be good.
Yeah,
He's got a
absolutely.
lot of rec
Fingers can get along.
knowledge.
Forgot that. Yeah.
Okay, so yes, we will get back to you and, figure this out.
Cool.
Thanks again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
But yes, keep up the good work.
Yes.
Will do.
And if you have anything that needs to be message or paper,
Perfect.
I'm the person.
All right. Anything else for Lee? Okay, we're
I have
good.
to go prepare for the in-laws, so.
Okay, all
I'd
right.
rather be here.
It's on camera.
That's on recording.
Not good.
Uh-oh.
Jeez.
Okay. Shelley,
How are you?
good.
There
Shelley?
Yes.
Ah.
God bless y'all.
I hear the daily. There's no preparing.
So, 2 check warrants, because I
Yes.
forgot to put the hard copy in front of you at the last meeting.
That's okay.
Ah,
We were there with the end spirit.
thanks.
Okay, do we have a motion to sign, both check warrants from, May 4th and April 14th?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
You lost Vern, I don't
Oh.
know if they,
He said he'd be here in 50 minutes, and that was at 6:30, so he should be here soon.
Okay, what else you got, Shelley?
The only other thing I have right now, cause this is kind of a lull for me before the end of the fiscal year, Wendy wants me to kind of go over the flooring, quotes
Yeah.
that she had sent you. Did everyone have a chance to see that email?
Yes.
Garage Outfitters came in, a hair lower than Liquid Stone. Both are within our, we have 5,000 in the CIP currently, and then we will have 5,000, come July 1st. It was approved at town meeting, so 10,000 total, in the CIP right now, which would finish the back part. I know Richard's not here, and I know he wanted the, fire department looked at as well. And then I know Wendy said that the bathrooms were optional. I don't know that they're optional. Those bathrooms have flooded a couple of times, and it's just, I mean, yeah.
I mean, the flooring in there is relatively new, but it
Yes,
gets
the
flooded every year.
linoleum is new, but it's been flooded, so. I don't know if you guys had an opinion on that. Liquid Stone was willing to work with us on timing. Garage Outfitters seem to be scheduling further out and not so willing to work like on a weekend or when we were already going to be closed.
They didn't want to do any of the,
They were not even willing to do
Pick
any
up
prep,
or- yeah.
nothing. And Liquid Stone was willing to
Pull this out.
pull it out.
yeah, I would think that would be a
Uh,
major,
For $591?
Yeah.
It's all yours.
exactly, yeah.
take it,
What?
bless you.
You said you had the money to do the bathrooms as well?
Yes, we did have him, with the bathrooms, we would be $1,250 over, and then the $591, which I was already thinking the $591 would be coming out of our buildings and grounds, pulling up
Right,
existing carpet. So we could use 1,000 of the 10,000 we budgeted for the bathroom.
Just seems to me if you're gonna do this,
Do it,
got them here, get it done,
Do
it's
it.
over, no more.
At
Yep.
least the back half of this building, because we're gonna have to empty out this room and move it all up there.
yeah,
My
yeah, I don't know if you'd wanna do the whole thing at once, cause
Right.
I think it'd be a nightmare, but.
well, and was it Richard Noel or Richard Flint? One of the Richards said
Richard Flint.
to, make sure it's going to wear the way we would like it to wear.
Right.
And that we actually like it back here before you do the front, So it makes sense to do only half at a time. My only concern would be, do they have to do anything in the bathrooms physically to fix whatever's going on out here in the parking lot? So it doesn't flood anymore?
No.
Or would okay, so that shouldn't affect the flooring piece at all, okay. I hate to put down new flooring here.
Yeah, no.
Ripped up immediately.
Because they were willing to do it July 4th week.
Yep.
And we're already closed Monday.
And
And
Friday.
Fridays, we're not open to the public
And
right
then
now
they
anyway,
would
so.
have a long weekend, we would only have to close a couple of days and then another long weekend.
I just wanted Shelley, because she's the money lady, she knows what we have. I got the numbers, but she knows what we can
The
afford.
person from Liquid Stone has been the foreman for Garage Outfitters, was the previous foreman, what'd you say, 7 years?
8 years.
8 years, and is local, is straight from Albert. He came and did all of the measurements, Garage Outfitters said they would come if we really wanted them to, but had Wendy send measurements, so.
So I took,
So they really are quite busy and really
They
don't really
must
need the
be,
business.
yeah,
Yeah.
they really, it's like, yeah, if you want us, we'll get to you when we get to you, if you don't,
Yeah, that's
oh well,
good for them.
yeah,
They're
So
yeah.
we have, a total of,
10,000 in the CIP,
right, and our job is gonna,
and 10,000 in the building and grounds.
right,
So, we would have to pull the 1250, which would be the, over the 10,000. $1,250 for the flooring, and then $591 for pulling the carpet from the building and grounds line to make the whole thing work. With liquid stone,
including the bathrooms,
I make
and
a
that
motion-
includes the bathrooms.
but that does not include the
I'll-
fire department.
I'll make the motion that we do go with the liquid stone.
And the bathrooms, if I
And do
remember from memory,
the back
it's like
half of the
the whole
building.
thing, it was like around $800 a room, right? It wasn't,
Say that again?
the quote for, cause they gave us individual quotes for every section.
mhm,
And I believe the bathroom quotes were around $800.
Yeah, it was $1,600 for both
Right,
bathrooms.
which is why I was thinking like, if he's held that on the fire department, I can't imagine it's gonna be
we'd still have enough money
between
in
$500
there.
and $800, and they have their own buildings and grounds, to
Right.
use as well if they really wanted.
Would that be up to them if they want to do it this
It
round,
seems
or?
like the fire department
They've got it in their
should
budget, that
have
would be
a
their,
say,
Yeah, time to do it.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It'd be any cheaper to have them come back. to us.
Exactly.
Right, yeah,
No, that's it. Not at all.
okay, so we have a motion, do we have a second?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Get in touch with them and get a move on that.
Like tomorrow? We can't do it till after July
And
first.
then I haven't heard from Jordan at Sullivan and Towers, but, I'm expecting to anytime, cause he usually comes before the end of June, before June 30th. Sees how the year has kinda gone before they come and sit in house for 3 solid days. That's all I have.
well, that's your auditors.
So little,
Yes.
yes, yep.
Okay, Wendy,
Okay, so, been a do-si-do cast of characters, but I think, based on who's here right now, we can approve the April 7th minutes, because Kyle and Chris were both there.
okay,
When Vern gets here, we could probably approve the other set.
oh,
So-
okay,
So April 7th, it was Kyle, Chris, and Richard that were there.
Motion, make the motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, when Vern gets here, we can probably do the other set.
Vern's back
Um,
with us on Zoom, if he can hear you, he could.
Vern, can you hear us? We could wait, he's probably almost here.
There he is.
He's in West Swan.
Yes, can you hear me? I'm almost there.
Hello, would you like to motion to accept the minutes for April 21st? Okay, do I have a second?
That's you, Sharon.
Me, okay?
No.
After I read the minutes, I'll be able to.
Okay, that's good. All those in favor say aye. Say aye, Vern. Aye. You just lost.
Jonathan.
Okay. There you go. Thank you.
Jeez. This came to legal.
Zoom stories.
That's
These are
great.
gonna come out.
So, the Missisquoi Valley School budget revote was on April 26th, and it did narrowly pass this time by 29 votes, 542 to 513. We had 313 Highgate voters participate, 157 absentee, and 156 in person. So that is behind us now. So Shelley and I won't be back at the polls until August something for the primary.
For the primary.
Not
Yeah,
That'll be a sunbathing day.
that'll be a long day too. They're not terribly popular or well attended, but we'll see how it goes.
So slow.
It is. Green Up Day is this Saturday. We had 300 Green Up bags. They are all gone, which is a good problem to have. So I did load up the bin out here by the back door with some clear bags that we had in-house for people that still wanna grab some and not have the expense of using their own materials. And Household Hazardous Waste Day is also this Saturday from 8 to 2 at the Sand Shed location on Transfer Station Road. The weather looks like it's going to be fantastic, so hopefully a lot of people will be out safely picking up and drivers are careful. So hopefully it's a safe day. Shelley already touched on the floors. Shelley and I are gonna have to close the office on May 26th to attend a mandatory off-site training in JP. Everyone is getting new tabulators for voting. So town meeting day was the last day we used our old one. We're getting a new one. We've received the base already, which Shelley and I could both fit in it. It's huge.
Spaceship.
It is a spaceship. But we don't have the actual tabulator yet that fits in it. But we wouldn't know how to use it anyway, so we're gonna be at JP May 26th, learning how to use the new tabulator. And of course, we're closed May 30th for Memorial Day.
Is that something mandatory that the Secretary of State is making you do?
The training,
No, the
Every so many years
the
they
new-
update the equipment.
Yeah.
yeah,
Same
that,
like
we've
the
had that
photos.
same tabulator since I've been here, and I don't know how long we had it before, so it's persnickety,
Persnickety.
yes.
New
So-
word for you.
And I think, we signed my new land records contract back in March for another 5 years. All my new equipment came this week. So they were on site here from North Carolina yesterday and today. Tore my desk completely apart and it is now back together. Everything is almost functioning perfectly. So the last 2 days, I haven't gotten much done, but it is for another 5 years. I got a new scanner, a new terminal, a new printer, a new stamper, new everything,
And the cost went down.
and the cost went down.
Okay,
And
that's
we were able
unusual.
to keep all the old equipment. They offered us, do you want it? We're just gonna recycle it. So we do have a printer and a scanner that we've offered to Lee over at Rec.
Good.
If he can make the space for it. It's nice equipment and they were just gonna.
Throw in the garbage.
Let somebody else use it.
So I just had to sign off that they no longer are responsible to maintain it, but we can keep it. So I think that's it for me.
Okay. Heidi.
Kind of an easy night tonight for me. First thing I wanted to do was ask you if you could attend a meeting with the Swanton Village trustees on May 18th. That is the new date that's being offered. That is Wednesday. And you have a select board meeting the next night.
What time?
I believe it's 6, but I'll double check.
Yeah, I can do it as long as you give me a heads up reminder before.
Okay,
Pretty sure I'm in town.
okay. Chris?
I should be able to.
Okay. I will
Bring burn.
book that.
Volunteer.
You did receive an award for the Ballard Road culvert, so, and that'll be a next year project. But you did not receive the Class 2 paving grant, so that would have been for the Mesha Road. So, that's a no-go. I put an update from the site visit for the grant and aid, and that is the drainage work on Durkee Road. And they thought that there would be enough left over out of that to finish up what we were not able to do on Boucher Road last time. So they're gonna dig a little ditching there and improve that. That was a high priority in our road erosion inventory. So that's what the guys are working on this summer, has to be done by the end of September. And the radios, we've talked a couple times about the Public Works Department not having great reception. We got two companies to look at it, Burlington Communication and Radio North, I believe. Burlington Communication was the only one that came through with a bid. You have it in your packet, it's $12,000. And checking in with Shelley, she thought we were okay to proceed with that.
I do, I think they're gonna end, they're not gonna have a whole lot left over, but after I took the, highest paving bid that they received from Pike and deducted it, and also their gross payroll, I went through the whole thing pretty well till June 30th. And even with the expensive Western Star expenses, they're in decent shape to get this project done this year. Yeah.
I make the motion that we get it done.
Yep.
This is
Yeah.
a safety concern that we have.
That's
This
it.
is dangerous.
Yeah,
We gotta get this done. It's a lot of money, but
Do I have a second?
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
I,
they received 24,000 more than we anticipated from the state of Vermont this year, so, they do have a buffer and.
Yeah, and
it's
I'm
we need to get this
safety.
done.
Yeah,
I never realized how bad it was until I was plowing over the town, over to the arena, and somebody was in the springs trying to reach the rest, and
no.
none of I could hear all three, but none of them could hear each other.
right.
So, wow, it's bad.
Well, I guess that I'm not upset to not get the paving grant because of the price of things at the moment that,
You wanna go very far?
no. No, it was one of those things that probably should have been put on the back burner if we did get it. Just because it's not economically feasible at these prices.
Okay, so we'll move forward with that and hopefully be able to get it done before July 1st. In the packet, in my report, I said that I have not been able to receive any estimates for appraising the FEMA home buyout property. I spent all afternoon on the phone trying, knocking on doors again, and I got 2 people from Chittenden County reply to me, which was interesting. So there is a sheet on the table, it's 2-sided, there are two estimates there. 550 is the lowest estimate from Highland Appraisals. And this is a part of the FEMA grant, so it will be covered under that. So I would request your approval of that so I can get that appraisal done.
I make the motion that we, accept Highland appraisals.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Great. There's also another paper in front of you regarding some soil borings that Arnold Valley would like to do, and I did print out one larger copy there. The highway department did highlight where our water line is, because they didn't think that. I'm gonna get you some cough drops, I have some up front.
Don't want peppermints.
If I sit for long, then for some reason it likes to freak out.
So 10 new wells, some of them are in close proximity to wells that were previously there. And Butch thought maybe when we did our paving and told them to come and put risers in for their wells, they did not. So that may be why they need to redo some. But it looks like some are new. I think that, the gas station is under scrutiny to,
To the brown zone?
well, this is all through the oil, I can't remember what the name of the program is, but there's a big fund of money for former oil spills.
Yeah,
To make sure that people's wells are,
it's a brown zone, and they go in and they put test wells, and then they check the test wells to see if it's anticipated, and they got X
That's-
amount of dollars to,
Well,
Yeah.
and they bought the property next door, so they may be
they bought the
having,
property next door.
Former Sousa place,
They did.
yes,
When did that happen?
a couple years ago.
yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah,
a
so
while ago.
they may have some expansion plans in mind
Ideas.
as well. Don't forget, we share a septic, just in case this ever gets to the gentleman in question.
So they're looking for your approval. The library was kind of concerned about programming, so they did say they would try to schedule around the library and give them a heads up so that they could let their patrons know, and they will be managing traffic control and replacing the pavement because Butch was not thrilled that's new pavement on,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's all new through there. But they're only 1.5 inches, so we got on the phone with the engineer and he was assured that they would make good on the pavement.
Really don't have much of a choice about this anyways, I mean, they're gonna come drop the holes in.
I would think there's truth in that. I mean, A&R is asking for this.
Exactly.
If the town had a reason not to allow that, I think that they would probably request it in a different spot. They need the information.
Right.
They did say, we asked how they were gonna get into the library green, and because I thought it was maybe a small thing, but it's a truck unit, so he said they weren't gonna tear the fence down, so they wouldn't do one in the library green. They would just do one in the parking lot.
Need a motion for that?
I think so, please.
I'll make the motion to allow Valley to bring in their Green Earth Environmental to do some test wells.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And then I was looking to the select board to talk about the community visit. And while Ty is here, I wanted to just share with the community that the Regional Planning Commission is organizing a walk on the Lamoille Valley Rail Trail. Each town will have an opportunity to highlight their potential cutouts that they would like passed to businesses or signage and unique things about each community. So that's scheduled right before the next select board meeting, so it's gonna be tough to
It was a
participate.
short window too, so it made me feel like it may be more virtual than actual group meeting.
It was a very
There were
short period of time.
frames for each town.
I was trying to figure that out too, but they call it a walk,
Walk,
so
yeah.
maybe they were
Well, I-
saying,
They don't put a
or
place of where you meet
they
in
are,
there.
they are quotes, they say walk the trail, so
You're walking on Zoom.
They're doing
it's like,
same day as the next meeting.
it's like Burns' trip here, a roving reporter. So that's an excellent point, Ty. It does look like it is a virtual walk, an interactive mapping session. So, if anyone wants to participate in that, they can reach out and get more. That's it for me.
Okay,
I had one question.
absolutely.
Heidi, when we put in, paved the frog pond, the park and ride, I know the island was a requirement from the state, was it required to try to maintain grass in that, for a green space, or?
It's supposed to be a green space, yeah, I mean, I
Cause
think.
the amount of salt that is
Yeah, it
used,
just kills it.
it kills it, we can't maintain grass, I didn't
Yeah.
know if 2-inch stone, if we could make it 2-inch stone and attempt to plant some hardy flowering plants that we could cover up in the winter, cause
Yeah, I know
there's no way to
The
keep that.
tulips and the hyacinths
And it just
spit the
looks-
radish.
I don't see what you're gonna be able to put there that's gonna be able to take that abuse.
Right, it just looks,
Mhm.
it doesn't look nice, so just dirt and dirt.
So it's about the
I was
hardest
gonna say
plant,
hospice.
I don't know
Yeah,
how much salt that could
And,
take.
no, I don't, I think we tried this already,
Oh, yeah.
so, I don't know, maybe it's a question,
Yeah, I can ask, but I think the intention of those islands are just to control traffic, so
Okay.
I don't think there's a real, you know. strict
knew it was a
criteria about how
requirement
it
to-
was in it.
I knew it was a requirement that it was there, but I didn't know.
Worst comes to worst, I have some artificial turf.
Paint it green.
Just don't let Brian mow it. Okay, so for the select board, we did have our second meeting with the Vermont Rural Development. We had a smaller crowd, but very, participatory, so that was good. The group had chosen, out of 18 topics, chose 4 basic topics that they wanted to see the town focus more on. Those topics were advanced career training, workforce development, agricultural career pathways, expand community events and boost volunteerism and engagement, recruit and support local businesses, and expand the Highgate Library and Community Center. So they are setting up task force for those topics. You can go online and sign up to be on that if you'd like to volunteer. The next meeting that they come to us with experts in their fields to help us develop actual programs and grant opportunities for these task force to move forward. So to give us some positive reinforcement in gaining some of our goals. So would really like to see as much participation as possible. Only because this is for our town and it's good to get as many people involved as we can. So that next meeting is on May 24th from 6:30 to 9 p.m. The location will probably be the school, but it's to be determined at the moment. But some great ideas coming out of these meetings, so see what we can do with them.
When you say go online, Sharon, do you mean our website, the rural development website?
Oh,
Oh, it's on both?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And it, there are different, options, if you'd like to see one of those programs advance more than another, by all means, speak up and be heard. So, the advanced career training and workforce development, of course, goes very nicely with the airport project, and keeping children in Highgate. The agricultural career pathways is an important feature of our agricultural town. And as Jeff Carr told us in our economic development report, that was a very favorable use of Highgate's energy, was to try to support that type of business in our area. Expanding community events. The rec department's doing a great job at that. The select board's already talked about that, and mental health and getting people more involved. The recruitment and support of local businesses. I think that we've talked about that before, of food stability, like DeZorcy's or McEwen's, who is a business that's been in town for 100 years, has aging owners, and what will happen there. Bringing new businesses into the area and trying to support those to help stabilize our tax base. And then expanding the Highgate Library and Community Center, because there seems to be a lot of interest in providing a lot of community services, and that is an excellent fit for that. You know, everything from community wellness visits for people that may not be able to necessarily get out or afford those things on their own, allows us to be a more supportive town to our residents. So hopefully we'll have a good turnout and some good ideas and some help from the state and the other committees around that have possible money and ideas and the know-how to do some of these things that maybe we don't know. So, what else do we have for select board? Anything? Vern, nice to see you made it here safely.
Sorry.
You're all right. You're good.
Actually, one thing I got, just a public safety kind of thing, but for everybody fishing off the Rock River Bridge, if everybody could park their cars on the other side of the travel lane and not park on the bridge at all, we're gonna have to get some signage for that. It's
Maybe even in the parking lot.
it's getting a little dangerous down there. Yeah, go from 2 lanes down to half a lane sometimes trying to get through there, and it's coming around the corner 55, 60. Some people doing 70 through there, 2 or 3 feet away from people with kids. So
Right.
And not hitting the people on the bridge that are fishing.
correct.
Cop was down there this morning, I saw him on the side.
That's all I got.
And we did have a thank you from a couple of the residents for the slow kid signs. Said they were very appreciated and hopefully helped do the trick. So,
I noticed.
One thing I wanna mention, from Monnet Road to the border, they're gonna start paving on Monday, May 11th. So just to let you guys know, it's gonna start paving, the sign said today, May 11th. So,
all right. Anything else?
I have some things for executive session.
Okay. So I'd make a motion to go into executive session with Heidi Bridge Valenta. Ty, do you need us for anything? Okay.
Sharon, you need some? I've got
So
a bunch.
moved.
I take one more, just
No, I've got a bunch of them. I buy a big bag at Costco.
thank you. All right.
Chris,
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.